Yeah.
Right.
Check.
Free card again. Here's the river. And that has helped no one, but it's quite a scary board. Bill Gazes has a pop at it with nothing but queen high. 3,000 stone cold bluff.
Well, he almost had the best hand. Surinder had a king,
Right.
so he wasn't too far off having it. But yeah, it was a good spot to represent the 5. You
Right,
know.
and also reasoning, I guess, that no one had an ace to pay him off.
Well, Surinder could have had an ace, I suppose, but he probably thought he would have raised. So, you know, he probably wouldn't have even thought Surinder had such a strong hand as King Jack. But I think if he was going to bluff at that, he probably should have bet a little bit more, because, you know, somebody with an ace mightn't like it too much when, you know, the blind bets, you know, maybe if he'd bet about 7,000 or 8,000.
Right.
You know, if you had the 5, that's what you would do, because
Right.
you'd be sort of hoping to get called by an ace, so you're
Right.
going to charge him plenty.
So Gaze is very aware there. First hand he's played, and he's picked up on an opportunity to steal the pot.
Yeah.
And gotten his chips back. He's over 100,000 again.
Shot into 3rd place.
Sunar now, who has had no rub of the green so far. Not going to play those cards.
Raise to 6,000.
And Channing, well, he's going to play that hand every time.
Absolutely,
Ace King
yeah.
suited.
Pass.
See if he gets any action
Oh,
from Bill
he's gonna get
Gazes
called
here.
here anyway.
It's 5,000 on Gazes from the small blind. And
Pass.
inwards in the big blind, he has got suited connectors as well. Gazes passed the Queen Jack of Diamonds, Donica.
Wow, that's really tight, I think. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, Inwards is playing with a much worse hand, and the flop's coming head up now. If it's all hearts, Paul Inwards is going to be in terrible shape. But that's a nice flop for a 5-8 suited.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the way he's played earlier, I think he's going to bet in here. Yeah, he is.
6,000.
Sure enough, 6,000 straight. 8-5 is a pair and a straight draw, and Channing does well there to get out of the hand. So 12 hands have gone by at the PartyPoker.com European Open. Daniel Smith, he's won nearly every hand he's played. And Donica, Surinder Sunar short stack with 61,000, and they've announced the blinds are going up. Is it going to make him worried now? Or?
Oh, well, I mean, the fact that they've gone up on his big blind, he won't be too pleased about. Yeah, I mean, it's going to put him under pressure. 6,000 around, and he's got 61, so it's 10% of his money. So, yeah, I mean...
And he experienced enough. Surinder is not going to let himself dip below a certain point before he makes a move. But cards out now. Second level action. 2,000 and 4,000 are the blinds, and Neil Channing is hot. Action on him. And he's got a pair of 3s. He's done a lot of limping in with the pairs. Is that small pairs? Is that usually a good play?
Well, it's a difficult decision. You know, when you've got like a small pair like that, you could, you know, if you limp, you're enticing people to raise you. You know, so you know sometimes you. I mean, which has happened here.
Exactly what's happened. Gazes with the ace jack on the button, making it 9,000 more. That's 13,000. And Channing has to pass. And Donica, you could see that pot have gone the other way. If Channing had raised under the gun, Gazes might have even folded the ace-jack.
Well, the way Gaze has been playing, he threw away Queen-Jack suited earlier for a raise. So, yeah, he probably might have. Or, you know, I mean, even if Channing had maybe just brought it in for double, like 8,000 or something like that, you know, they're difficult hands to play. You know, I mean, you could, you know, if you're not, I don't like calling with hands like that I'm not going to call a raise with, you know, so, you know, so in this sort of format, you know, maybe you're just better off raising with them or throwing them away. You know?
Right. Chip leader is under the gun here. Pair of 8s, and you have to imagine Smith's going to play that. Question is he going to raise or call here?
He should raise, yeah, for sure, especially with his chips. I think he will.
So Smith has the snowman, and it's 4,000 to call. He'll have a little think and look around the table before making his decision. And nobody rushes this guy, Donica, but that's a good trade, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I like to play quite deliberately myself, and you know, he had a good look around at everybody, and he's obviously taking in whether he thought people were interested or not.
Well, the bet is 10,000, 4 plus 6, and Fidlow hot here, right? Action on him, ace-7, and well, he's got a decision to make.
Yeah, you know, he's obviously he's also low on chips, so.
Call from Fidlow. He's going to take a peel off here with the ace-7, and Surinder Sunar in the small blind. It would be 8,000 if he wanted to call. He doesn't. Channing taking a rest, and we're head up here between the two Americans, and the big black sunglasses of Dan Smith praying for an 8 on the flop here. And he hasn't got it, but that's not a bad flop for the 2-8s.
No, no, that looks quite reasonable. You're just unlucky if your opponent happened to have a 10. So, you know, I think he should probably test the water here, not give a free card.
26,000 in the pot right now, and Daniel Smith betting 10. I think that's the exact bet you were talking about.
Yeah, I think Scott shaking his head there. So I think that means, you know, I'm thinking
not the
about
best poker face in the world there, is it? So Fidlow lays it down, and Daniel Smith increases his chip lead. He's had quite a few big hands, Donica, but he seems to have played them solidly enough. I mean,
yeah, yeah. You know, he's just really on fire here at the moment, and you know, it'd be just interesting to see if he uses that chip lead to, you know, if they lose 1 or 2 players, that he can bully it. But
right.
I don't know if he looks that much as a sort of a player that's going to bully. You know, I mean.
That was Daniel Smith's Manhattan. He's won 4 pots and barely dipped at all. Red lines in that thing, of course. The pots player won. But here's Paul Inwards now. He's found a pocket pair, folded around to him, and the red chips are in. They're 5,000 apiece. The bet is 10,000 here. It's 4 plus 6. And Surinder has got Inwards locked up 7 ways to Sunday, but he doesn't know it, does he?
Yeah, this is a tough spot for him because of the amount of chips he has. You know, he obviously the way he played earlier, it sort of seems unlikely that he'll re-raise. And you know, if he just looks at a flop, although he does have position on Paul, you know, so you know, I suppose he could just call. But I mean, the way people are playing, you know, they're going to sort of take a stab at the flop. So
Surinder down to 55,000 now, and he decides that the fold is the best option. His stack size must be a big factor.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's been, you know, playing fairly conservative, you know, so he had to give him some respect as having something. And of course, you know, he also had a couple of players behind him as well, you know, Surinder. So
it's around to Daniel Smith, who's got plenty of chips to spare, and calls the 6,000. So we are head up now. Best hand is out of the pot. Smith will be looking for an ace, I believe. And he's hit it. Oh, no, he didn't want... Look, it's... That 5 hit, but Surinder's out, isn't he? Boy, he's going to feel terrible.
I think Surinder's having a drink. I don't know whether it's water or whiskey at this stage.
It's gone check, check. Ace on the turn, and Smith might start thinking he has the best hand, which he does. He's holding an ace-7.
Yeah, I mean, he could bet here safely, or he can just check and maybe try and induce a bluff from Paul and just call, you know. So looks if he's going to bet it, I guess. I think he's shown not too much intent there when he sort of went for his chips to check it, you know, to induce a bluff.
Well, the bet is 12,000, and Inwards can't beat much. 9s and 3s. But if Inwards does fold, Surinder is going to say, hey, you raised before the flop and you couldn't even bet when an ace came. Knocked me off a full house. Give the pot to Daniel Smith. And you were mentioning how superstitious